Welcome students to the lecture number 5 of Indian Contract Act, which is a part of CA Foundation as well as CLAT lecture series sponsored by Sri Jendra Exxon. I'm your mentor Shekhar Gehlot. In the previous classes we have discussed about essentials of a contract and how proposal has to be made, how an acceptance has to be conveyed. Okay, now in this chapter we'll deal with the communication of offer and acceptance, how these communications are made for offer and acceptance. Okay, and this chapter is very important because in order for a legally binding contract to come into picture, we must know the rules regarding communication of offer and acceptance. Unless an offer is made or communicated properly and the same is accepted and communicated properly, there won't be a contract between the parties. So in order to have a contract between the parties, we must know the rules regarding the contract. The importance of offer and acceptance in giving effect to a valid contract was explained in the previous paragraphs. One important common requirement for both offer and acceptance is their effective communication. Effective and proper communication prevents avoidable revocation and misunderstanding between the parties. Okay, the most important is that there should be effective communication. If there is effective and proper communication, it prevents avoidable revocation of the contract or the offers and misunderstanding between the parties. When the contracting parties are face to face, okay, they are face to face, just like sitting in a room. Okay, when two people are sitting in a room, so they are said to be sitting face to face. There is no problem of communication. Okay, definitely when two people are sitting together, there won't be any communication issues because there is instantaneous communication of offer and acceptance. In such a case, the question of revocation does not arise since the offer and its acceptance are made instantly. Okay. See, we discussed that offer can be revoked. Okay, I made an offer that will you buy my land for rupees 2 lakhs? And meanwhile, before the person has replied, I can say I revoke my offer, I withdraw my offer, or I cancel my offer. Thereafter, my offer stands nullified and other person cannot accept it. Okay, but when we are sitting in a closed atmosphere, two people are sitting together and they are discussing, there is no question of revocation. Okay, because the moment other person says, I wish to sell my this thing to you on this and this prices on these terms conditions, the other party, the other party is willing to enter into a contract, will instantly say, okay, done, and the contract is made. Yes, I do, and the contract is made. So there is no question of revocation. The main difficulty which arises when the contracting parties are at a distance from one another and they utilize the services of the post office or telephone or email. In such cases, it is very much relevant for us to know the exact time when the offer or acceptance is made or complete. Okay. But now, as we see, there are so many international contracts and national contracts and interstate or intra-state contracts which are happening between the parties where the parties are stationed away from each other, say 5 kilometers, 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, 1000, more than 1000 kilometers away. Okay, so in those cases, how the contracts are performed, they are performed either by post office or by telephone or by email, and nowadays even by WhatsApp. Okay, so in these cases, this post office thing, this is also very crucial thing. Why? Because post office takes time in delivering. Suppose I post. And see, many contracts are still performed by post office, especially government contracts. Most of them are still performed by the post office. Whenever a government will invite tenders or government will invite applications for a job recruitment, or there are institutions, educational institutions or colleges, they are inviting people for filling up of the
It's
seats
one
for
o'clock.
examination. What will they say? Usually Okay, this is an example. Something like this. The government opportunities will say your acceptance should reach to us by the post by 5 p.m. of 2/12/2020. Okay, now it's okay. Now the government is following the postal route till today. So in postal route, even why government is following postal route? Because see, country is made up of so many people. Okay, we have 130 crore people. Out of those 130 crore people, 50 60 crore people roughly do not have access to valid telephone or emails. Okay, but because email and telephone requires a great deal of knowledge and awareness as well. And people, rural people, usually people who have attained such age and who could not use the email services when they were young, so now they find it quite difficult to use the email services. They even find it quite suspicious as well that if we make an email account, someone is going to draw the funds from our account. Okay, someone will cheat us. So these people do not have much faith in the email thing. So that is why government follows the postal route in order to be more inclusive, in order to provide equal opportunity to all the citizens alike. Okay, and definitely telephone contracts do not happen. Usually they cannot happen because a contract is having a lot of terms and conditions. You cannot write it down or speak to someone on telephone. Definitely you will write your conditions and then you send it to someone. You will send either by post office or either by email. Email, there is not much issue because email is very instant. The moment you send it, it reaches there. But the main issue is the contracts via post office, which are still very much prevalent, and almost 50 60% commercial contracts in India regarding government are still happening by the post office. Okay, so this becomes very important here. So now post office, what post office will do? Okay, A posts a letter from Kerala and the letter has to reach to Jammu and Kashmir. He has posted the letter on 12 to 2020. Now the letter will reach. Okay, letter will reach 24 to 2020. It may be 20 or it may be 18. Okay, but in any case, there are going to be a gap of 6 to 7 days in between the posting of the letter and reaching of the letter at the desired place. There is going to be delay, definitely, because it's a man to man service. So in these cases, this communication of offer and acceptance assumes cruciality. Okay, because within these 6 days, the other party may choose to revoke the offer without even acceptance reaching him. Okay, then what will happen? Let us discuss these issues. The Indian Contracts Act 1872 gives a lot of importance to the time element in the deciding when the offer and acceptance is complete. Okay, time is very crucial in the Indian Contract Act and in the formation of any contract. Time is really a crucial factor. Communication of offer. Now, how the offer has to be communicated. We have understood the essentials of the communication. It has to be definite, it has to be made to the person so designated, it has to be made within a reasonable time, and so all. Okay, and it can be general, it can be specific, it can be open, it can be shut. Okay, but now let us understand how the offer has to be communicated. We understand what are the essentials of a valid offer, but how this valid offer is to be communicated is totally a different affair. Now let us discuss it. In terms of section 4 of the act, the communication of offer is complete when it comes to the knowledge of the person to whom it is made. This can be explained by an example. So first of all, let us read section 4 again. The communication of offer is complete when it comes to the knowledge of person. The communication of offer is complete when it comes to the knowledge. Now, this is very crucial when it comes to the knowledge of the person. Okay, A made an offer to B on 20th October 2020 and posted on same day on 20th October. He even posted it, but it reached B on 30th of October. So now, as per going by the definition, the communication of offer is complete when it comes to the knowledge. So when would it come to the knowledge of B? It will come to the knowledge of B on 30th of October 2020. Okay, so on this date, the communication is complete. So though he wrote the letter, he posted it on 20th October, but it becomes complete only after 10 days. Where A makes a proposal to B by post to sell his house for 5 lakhs, and if the letter containing the offer is posted on 10th March, and if the letter reaches B on 12th March, the offer is said to have been communicated on 12th March when B received the letter. Okay, when B received the letter. Sometimes it may happen. Sometime it may happen the letter may be lost. Okay, it may happen a lot of times that the letter is lost by the postal authorities, or when the postal authorities reach to the doorstep of B to deliver the letter, B was not available and nobody else was available. Probably the house was locked, so the post was returned. It was returned to the original offerer. So in this case, there is no communication of offer. Okay, in such cases, there will be no communication of offer because the letter is lost. It never letter is lost, or in either case, the letter never reached to the receiver and it was never acknowledged. So the communication of offer is incomplete. Thus, it can be summed up that when a proposal is made by post, its communication will be complete when the letter containing the proposal reaches the person to whom it is made. Okay, we are clear on this? Mere receiving of letter is not sufficient. Further, let's go further. He must receive or read the message contained in the letter. Mere receiving of letter is not sufficient. He must receive or read the letter as well. Okay. So, in the above example, he receives the letter on 12th March, but he reads it on 15th March. In this case, offer is communicated on 15th March and not on 12th March. Okay, this is also important. He must not only receive it, but also must read it. Because without reading, it cannot come to the knowledge of person. Now suppose now A received a letter on 10th of October 2022 and he puts it in the drawer thinking that I'll later on open it. Somehow he's busy in something else. But he forgets to open it. Then in that case, it would be deemed that no communication happened. There was no communication of offer because he did not actually read it. Communication of acceptance. There are two issues for discussion and understanding. They are the modes of acceptance and when is acceptance complete. Okay, so there are two issues when we are talking about communication. Communication of offer is complete. Now we understand how the communication of offer is made. It is when it reaches the person and when he reads it, then only the communication is deemed to be complete. This is the postal thing. Okay, if we talk about telephone, when the other party hears the offer, or we have WhatsApp. Okay, nowadays we have WhatsApp. Okay, and there is WhatsApp. It has blue tick feature. This blue tick signifies that the message posted by you has been read. Okay, till the time. Okay, till the time there is no blue tick, there is no communication at all. So these are the ways in which we can understand how the offer is made. Okay, the offer must reach to the person and he must listen to it or read it or see it. Okay, then only the communication of offer is complete. But rule is somehow tilted when it comes to the communication and acceptance, communication of acceptance. Okay, let us see how it is. Now there are two issues: the mode of acceptance, how the acceptance has been made. Mode may be Modes are like by post, by email. These are the modes of communication. Okay, and when acceptance is complete, when the acceptance should be complete. Let us first consider mode of acceptance. Section 3 of the Act prescribes in general terms two modes of communication, namely A. By any act, B. By any omission. Okay, now two modes of communication are there: by any act or by any omission. Okay, these act or omission will happen via these modes. Okay, by any act or by any omission. Act means doing something positive. Okay, omission means not doing something which you are required to do. Okay, by act is doing something, omission is not doing something. And when we were discussing the contract in the initial, we discussed that offer can be of doing something as well as not doing something. Okay, so contract can be performed in either in a positive manner as well as in a negative manner. So by an act, any act is a positive manner, by any omission is a negative manner, because you are not doing something in this particular case. Intending thereby to communicate to the other, which has the effect of communicating the offer. Now let us see what is the communication by act. How do you communicate by act? Communication by act would include any expression of words, whether written or oral. Written words will include letters, telegrams, faxes, emails, and even advertisements. Oral words will include telephone messages. Again, communication would include any conduct intended to communicate, like positive acts or signs, so that the other person understands what the person acting or making signs means to say or convey. That means any medium of language. Okay, Okay, but that must be clear in terms to the other person. You may use a sign language as well, like people are deaf and some people are deaf or mute, they are not able to speak, so they use sign languages. So the sign language must be clear and understandable to the other party, then only the communication will be complete by the act. Okay, communication by act. Otherwise, vast majority uses these features, these modes: letter, telegram, faxes, email, even advertisement, and on telephones as well. Communication of acceptance by omission to do something. Okay, by omission to do something. Such omission is conveyed by a conduct or by forbearance on the part of one person to convey his willingness or assent. However, silence would not be treated as a communication by omission. Okay, this is a very particular rule. Silence can never become a acceptance. You cannot simply say someone that if you do not reply within 15 days, 30 days, I'll accept that. I'll believe that you have accepted my offer. This cannot be the way. Okay, but it can be like forbearance can be there. Suppose like A says, okay, now there are two parties. Okay, the parties are struggling for the better candidates for each other. So now A, someone belonging to the BJP group, okay, he says to B, a Congress worker, B is a Congress worker, that you join BJP and we will give you ticket to contest elections. Now, how he wants his acceptance to be communicated is that if you do not join the Congress meeting on that date, some date Congress meeting is going to happen and they are going to issue tickets. If you do not join that meeting that date, I will believe that you have joined the BJP. Okay, in this case, the acceptance is communicated by omission. Okay, forbearance, not to join the meeting, not to join the meeting. Okay, this is acceptance by omission. Okay, this was acceptance by reply, write back or reply back, or if you come to my office I'll understand. This is if you do not go. So acceptance can be communicated by this way as well. Communication of acceptance by conduct. Okay, by conduct. For instance, delivery of goods at a price by seller to a willing buyer will be understood as a communication by conduct to convey acceptance. Okay, delivery of goods. Okay, someone went to a vegetable vendor and just picked up the articles and paid the price and walked away. That's it. Nobody talked to each other, neither the vegetable vendor nor the vegetable buyer. So in this case, the acceptance is by conduct. Similarly, one need not explain why one boards a public bus or drops a coin in a weighing machine. Okay. Similarly, when you board a public bus, when you take up a public bus or metro, that means you automatically want to accept the contract with the bus driver or the bus company and you will pay the fees. The first act is a conduct of acceptance and its communication to the offer by public transport authority to carry any passenger. Okay, the first act when you board the bus, it's a communication of offer, that I communicate offer, that I make an offer, please take me to that station, and public transport authority will carry the passenger. That is it. That is their acceptance by conduct. The second act is again a conduct conveying acceptance to use the weighing machine kept by the vending company as an offer to render that service for a consideration. The other issue in communication of acceptance is about the effect of act or omission or conduct. These indirect efforts must result in effectively communicating its acceptance or non acceptance. Okay, it has, if it has no such effect, there is no communication regardless of which the acceptor thinks about the offer within himself. Okay, the omission, okay, or the conduct has to have a desired effect. Okay, it must result in the other person believing that the communication has been made or the offer has been accepted. It must be in such a way, it must convey that meaning. If the act is not clear enough, if the act is not definite enough, then whatever the other person may be thinking in the mind, it will not be a valid acceptance. Like in this case, BJP worker says Congress to Congress worker, you do one thing, you do not join the meeting. Okay, what he does, he went to the meeting area and then returned after 2 hours. And now he is thinking that just because I left the meeting halfway, they must believe that I have accepted the meeting. I have conveyed my acceptance. But this is not the way. Okay, he should not have gone there at all. Okay, if he goes there and returns in 2 hours, it gives an impression that he is trying to keep his cards closed. Okay, so in this case there is no definite communication of acceptance. Thus a mere mental unilateral assent in one's own mind, merely agreeing with somebody in your own mind, would not amount to communication. Okay, where a resolution passed by a bank to sell land to A remained uncommunicated to A, it was held that there was no communication, hence no contract. Okay, in this case Central Bank of US Vankesh versus A NAG, it was held that what happened, bank passed a resolution that we will sell the land to someone A. A is A NAG, we will sell the land to A. Okay, but they did not communicate it to A. Okay, they did not communicate to A. Later on, A brought the suit that when the resolution was passed, they should have sold the land to me, but the court said no, till the time offer is not communicated to you. Whatever resolution may have been passed, but till the time it is not communicated to you, there is no contract between the parties. Let us now come to the issue of when communication of acceptance is complete in terms of Section 4 of the Act. It is complete in terms of Section 4 of the Act. It is complete as against the proposer. Okay, communication of acceptance is complete as against the proposer when it puts in the course of transmission to him so as to be out of the power of acceptor to withdraw the same. As against the acceptor when it comes to the knowledge of proposer. Okay, now I'll explain it by the example. As against the proposer, or you may say offerer, the one who made an offer, when will he be bound by the acceptance of communication? Okay, yes, communication of acceptance. Okay, now Okay, B puts his acceptance by post on 10/10/2020. Now the contract is complete for B. Okay, now both parties are bound by the contract. Okay, it is not that communication should reach A. Okay, now let us see. Okay, now this letter reached to A on 20th of October. Okay, but for B, B can now validly say that I entered into the contract with A on this date, 10th October 2020. Okay, though it may have reached to the knowledge of A on 20th of October 2020 and he may have read it on 25th of October 2020. Okay, but the rule for communication of acceptance is slightly different. Okay, the rule for offer is that it would be complete when it reaches B. Okay, and when B reads it, suppose it reached B on 10th of October and B read it on 15th of October, the communication of offer would be deemed to be complete only on 15th of October. Okay, though he may have posted his communication on 1st of October, but it will be deemed to be communicated only on 15th of October. But when B puts his acceptance by post on 10th of October, okay, then and there itself the contract is complete. Okay, then and there the contract is complete and B can now enforce the contract. B can now enforce the contract. Okay, but for A, okay, but for A, the contract will be valid only on 20th of October 2020. Okay, now okay. Now for B, who has communicated his acceptance, the contract was complete on 10th of October 2020 because that is the day he posted his letter. But for A, if he wants to enforce this contract, for him the contract will be deemed to be complete on 20th of October 2020 when he actually got the knowledge of this communication, when he actually read this communication. Okay, so this is the rule, these are the rules for postal communication. Where a proposal is accepted by letter sent by the post. Okay, this is the condition we are discussing here right now. The communication of acceptance will be complete as against the proposer. Okay, when the letter of acceptance is posted, and as against the acceptor when the letter reaches to proposer. Okay, see, this may appear that what is this? This may appear to be kind of a drama to all people, that for him this offer is valid on this date and for him this offer is valid on this date. But this is what the law states. Okay, we are reading law. So law says for acceptance will be complete for B when he put it in the post, that is 10/10/20. Okay, but for A this acceptance will become valid only 20/10/20. Okay, so for B the contract was complete on this date, for A the contract would be complete on this date. Okay, this is a difference. But now see, this used to be, this difference is no longer much there because nowadays postal service is quite good and these issues do not come up. But anyhow, if something like this has happened, then there is going to be issue, because now suppose B enter into contract on 10/10/20 and his letter will reach on 20th. Meanwhile A sells the property to C. Okay, A sells his property to C on 18th, okay, and the letter reached to 20th. Now B can take the A to court that on 10th the letter was complete, and A can say that I never came to know the letter reached to me on 20th. I assumed that B was not interested into my offer, so I sold it to the C. But this won't happen. A will be liable for the compensation. Okay, A will be liable for the compensation. For instance, in the above example, if B accepts A's proposal and sends his acceptance by post on 14th, the communication of acceptance as against A is complete on 14th. Okay, as against A, the communication is complete on 10th or 14th here. The A's Here, the proposer will be bound by B's acceptance even if the letter of acceptance is delayed in post or lost in the transit. Even if the letter is lost and it never reached B, okay, A, then also A will be liable. The golden rule is proposer becomes bound by the contract the moment acceptor has posted the letter in acceptance. But it is necessary that the letter is correctly addressed, adequately stamped, and duly posted. In such an event, the loss of letter in transit, wrong delivery, non delivery, etc., will not affect the validity of the contract. However, from the viewpoint of acceptor, who's the acceptor? Acceptor is B. Okay, he is accepting it. He will be bound by his acceptance only when the letter of acceptance has reached to the proposer. So it is crucial in this case that the letter reaches the proposer. If there is no delivery of the letter, the acceptance could be treated as having been completed from the viewpoint of proposer but not from the viewpoint of acceptor. Okay, from the viewpoint of acceptor. Of course, this will give rise to an awkward situation of only one party to the contract being treated as bound by the contract, though no one would be sure as to where the letter of acceptance had gone. Okay. Acceptance over telephone or telex or fax. Okay. When an offer is made for instantaneous communication like telex, telephone, fax, or through email, okay. Now these are modes of instantaneous communication. It happens within seconds. Okay, it happens within seconds or milliseconds. Okay. The contract is only complete when the acceptance is received by the offeree and the contract is made at the place where the acceptance is received. However, in case of a call drops and disturbances in the line, there may not be a valid contract. Now, this is a departure from the postal rule. Let us again see the postal rule. Okay, in this case, law says A posts the letter of acceptance on 10th, so that means there is a valid contract on 10th. Okay, and now A can enforce this contract. Okay, but B can enforce this contract only after 20th when he comes to a knowledge of such acceptance. Okay, for B, the entered contract will be on 20th. For A, the contract will be on 10th. Okay, but in the case of since it is a very much instantaneous, in this case the law says A speaks, A faxes acceptance contract okay, A faxes acceptance contract will take place when it reaches B and at the place of B because it's an instantaneous communication. Okay, it is just assume that people are standing or sitting face to face. Okay, when people are sitting face to face, then the contract will take place only when the acceptor says yes and the yes is heard by the offerer. Okay, similarly is the case of email, phone, and fax because they are very instantaneous, happens in seconds. So law assumes that people are sitting face to face and then they are dealing. So in that case, the communication of acceptance will be complete only when the email reaches the offerer or when the through telephone when offerer listens yes. okay, or the message is received. Then, and at what place? It will be at the place of B, wherever the B is. Hearing this acceptance, it will be contract will be done made at that place and only that time when B listens to it or reads it. Or in the case of call drop, okay, when I'm talking to someone on the phone and I'm saying yes, I accept your contract, but he could not listen to me, then in that case there will not be a valid contract. Okay. Communication of special conditions. Sometimes there are situations where there are contracts with special conditions. These special conditions are conveyed tacitly. Tacitly means silently. And the acceptance of these conditions are always conveyed by the offeree, again tacitly or without him even realizing it. Silently it is happening, kind of a silent contract. Okay. For instance, where a passenger undertakes a travel, the conditions of travel are printed on the back of tickets. Okay, when I go and enter into when I take a metro ticket, okay, or when I take a bus ticket, so out on the back side of bus ticket, some terms and conditions are there that you should take care of your own luggage. If something is lost, we are not responsible, and this and that. Okay, so in that case, when he purchases a ticket, he has agreed to these special conditions written before behind the ticket, even though he may have never read it. Okay, so these are the special conditions. Sometimes these special conditions are brought to the notice of passengers, sometimes not. Okay, in any event, the passenger is treated to have accepted as having accepted the special conditions the moment he bought the ticket. Okay. When someone travels from one place to another by air, okay, when someone is traveling to one place to other by air, it could be seen that special conditions are printed at the back of air ticket. When you get the air ticket, some conditions are written at the back of the air ticket in small letters. In non computerized train ticket, even these are not printed. Okay, sometimes these conditions are found to have been displayed at the notice board of the airline's office, which passengers may not have cared to read. Okay, sometimes these are not written on the ticket but on the notice board of the airlines office, which so many people do not read. Okay, the question is here is whether these conditions the question is whether these conditions can be considered to have been communicated to the passengers of the airlines, and can the passengers to be treated as having accepted those conditions. Okay, now I purchase a ticket, and on the back side of ticket, some terms and conditions are written. Now, can it be assumed that just because I purchased the tickets, I have read those conditions as well and I have subscribed to those conditions? Or sometimes not even on the ticket, it is written on the notice board somewhere on the airport. Then, will I be deemed to have read those conditions and accepted them as well just by purchasing a ticket? The answer to the question is yes, and was held in Mukul Datta versus Indian Airlines. It was held in this case that when the conditions are printed on the ticket or conditions are put on the notice board, it will be assumed that you have read those conditions and you have agreed to those special conditions as well. Yet another example is where a launderer means gives his customer a receipt for clothes received for washing. The receipt carries special conditions and are to be treated as having been duly communicated to the customer. And therein, a tacit acceptance, a silent acceptance of these conditions is implied by the customer's acceptance of receipt. Okay, but these conditions which are printed on the back side of ticket have to be reasonable, otherwise they would not be deemed to have been accepted. Like suppose you give the clause for clothes washing services. Okay. Okay, on the back of the receipt which launderer gave you, in exchange of your clothes. Okay, it is written, if clothes are lost, we are not responsible. So this kind of condition, tomorrow clothes are lost by the launderer, and then he says, I will not pay any compensation, I will not return the clothes, I have lost them, I will not pay you money back. Okay, so why will you not pay me the money for my clothes? You have lost them. He will say, on the back of the receipt it was written, if the clothes are lost, we are not responsible. But this is an unreasonable condition. This will not stand the test of the law. Okay, because law presumes, law gives a duty to take care of clothes. Tomorrow, every launderer will do one thing. They will just sell off the clothes of the customer, and then they will say, we are not responsible to pay you back. Why? Because we have written on the back side of the ticket or the receipt that we are not responsible if the clothes are lost. So this is not the way it is done. Conditions have to be reasonable. There cannot be any unreasonable condition, and you cannot silently make customers agree to the conditions to which he would otherwise not agree in practical sense. Okay. This is the case in which it was held, Lily White versus R. Manuswamy. P delivered some clothes to dry cleaner for which she received a laundry receipt containing a condition that in case of loss, customer would be entitled to claim 15% of the market price of value of the clothes. P lost her new sari. Okay, P lost her new sari, held the terms were unreasonable, and P was entitled to recover full value of the sari from the dry cleaner. Now the dry cleaner wrote on the back of the receipt that I'll pay only 15% of the value of the product lost. Okay, court held that it is an unreasonable term and condition. You cannot make people agree to any term and condition in way of, by this way of silently printing on the back ticket. Okay. In the cases referred above, the respective documents have been accepted without a protest and hence amounted to a tacit acceptance. Standard form of contracts. Now there are some contracts which are known standard form of contracts. Standard form of contract means A enters into contract with B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and 40 other people. Let us assume that A is employer, all other are employees. Okay, so he's entering into the similar kind of contract, identical contract with all the people, only names are different in contract. This is known as standard form of contract. Okay, standard means similar kind of contract followed with everyone. Standard means similar treatment. Okay, it is well established that a standard form of contract may be enforced on another who is subjectively unaware of the contents of the document, provided the party wanting to enforce the contract has given notice, which in circumstance of a case is sufficiently reasonable, but the acceptor will not incur any contractual obligation if the document is so printed and delivered to him in such a state that it does not give reasonable notice on the face that it contains certain special conditions. In this connection, let us consider a converse situation. A transport carrier accepted the goods from transport without any conditions. Subsequently, he issued a circular to the owners of goods limiting his liability for the goods. In such a case, since the special conditions were not communicated prior to the date of contract for transport, these were not binding on the owners of the goods. Held in Raipur Transport Company versus Ghanshyam. What happened in this case? Okay, A agrees to transport goods belonging to B, C, and D without any condition. Okay, conditions should have been communicated at the time of the offer. You cannot make the conditions, you cannot deliver the conditions anytime after the contract whenever you feel like. Okay, now you have taken the contract and now you feel like delivering the conditions in whatever manner you like. Okay, or sometimes there is this star. Okay, and this is written in very small manner, it's written in a very small manner, so even that is also not allowed. Okay, even that is also not allowed. So sometimes there is a contract, another contract, its terms and conditions apply, and then they do not give any subsequent document of what are the terms and conditions. Just by mentioning terms and conditions apply, by putting a star, very small star somewhere, will not make people bound by the terms and conditions. They should provide the supporting document as well. Communication of performance. Now, we have already discussed that in terms of section 4 of the Act, communication of proposal is complete when it comes to the knowledge of person to whom it is meant. Okay, communication is complete when it comes to the knowledge of person to whom it is meant. As regards acceptance of the proposal, the same would be viewed from two angles. Okay, from the viewpoint of the proposer, the other from the viewpoint of acceptor himself. Okay, now the acceptance of proposal is viewed from two different angles, from the viewpoint of proposer, and from the viewpoint of acceptor himself. Okay, from the viewpoint of proposer, when the acceptance is put into the course of transmission, like we discussed earlier, when it would be out of the power of acceptor. Okay, when A puts in, when okay, when I put a document with the postal authorities, now postal authorities have it and they will deliver it. It is not in my control. I cannot change the contents of it. I cannot tell them don't do it, don't post it. Once it is put in the mode of transmission, it will reach there. Okay, I have no control over it. Okay, so from the viewpoint of proposer, the acceptance will be complete when it is put into the mode of transmission by the other party. From the viewpoint of acceptor, it will be complete when it comes to the knowledge of proposer, just like we discussed earlier. At times, the offeree may be required to communicate the performance or act by way of acceptance. Okay. In this case, it is not enough if the offeree merely performs the act, but he should also communicate his performance, unless the offer includes the term that a mere performance will constitute acceptance. Sometimes, like we discussed, Congress worker do not go to the party. He not only needs to abstain from going to the party, but he should tell it to the worker, BJP worker, that I did not go to the party. Okay, or sometimes if it is agreed, just by not going to the particular location, communication will be complete. It depends on the person to person. The position was clearly explained in the famous case of Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company, which we have already discussed. Okay, it was a case of general offer. In this case, what they said, that is sole proprietary concern. They said that a medicine which was carbolic ball, whose smoke could be inhaled through the nose to cure influenza, cold, and other connected ailments, and issued an advertisement for sale of this medicine. The advertisement also included a reward of £100 to any person who contracted influenza after using the medicine, which was described as carbolic smoke ball. Mrs. Carlyle bought these smoke balls and used them as directed but contracted influenza. It was held that Mr. Carlyle was entitled to reward. Okay, now here how the contract took place. The contract took place by the act. Okay, Carlyle bought it and used it as per the directions. So now it is acceptance by the conduct. Okay, it is acceptance by the conduct. She purchased it and she used it as per the prescription. That means she has accepted the contract by the conduct. So now contract is complete. Okay, further, the advertisement did not require any condition of compliance of condition. Communication of compliance of condition. They never asked that if you are using it as a prescribed way, you should also tell us. This was not required. So, court held the process laid down the following three important principles. An offer to be capable of acceptance must contain a definite promise by the offerer that he would be bound provided the terms specified by the him are accepted. In an offer, it will be a valid offer if the offerer says, I will be bound by the terms if you behave in this particular manner, if you accept the conditions. An offer may be made either to a particular person or to the public at large. It can be made either to a public person or the public at large. If an offer is made in the form of promise in return for an act, the performance of an act, even without communication thereof, is to be treated as an acceptance of the offer. Okay, it will be treated as an acceptance of the offer. Okay. Now, revocation of offer and acceptance. Revocation means withdrawal. Withdrawing or recalling of offer and acceptance. I have made an offer, now I want to withdraw my offer, or I have communicated my acceptance, I want to take back my acceptance. Okay, how that will take place? If there are specific requirements governing the making of an offer and the acceptance of offer, we also have specific law governing the revocation. We have a law for governing the revocation or recalling of the offer. Okay. Communication of revocation. Communication of revocation means I take back my offer. This communication. Communication of withdrawal. Communication of withdrawal is complete when it is complete as against the person who makes it when it puts into the course of transmission to the other person. Okay. Now A makes an offer to B, but he wishes to revoke it. Okay, it is just like the rule in the postal communication we discussed. Now, when A makes an offer to B, now he wants to withdraw it. Okay, he wishes to revoke it. Revocation is complete when he posted. He posted it on 10th of October. It may reach to the B on 20th of October, but the offer stands withdrawn whether it has reached to the other person or not, or it may reach to the person on a delayed time. Okay, it is made out as against the person to whom it is made when it comes to the knowledge. Okay, now B has given acceptance. Okay, it is somehow other way round in the case of revocation. In the case of making an offer and acceptance, the rule is somehow different, and this is the other way round. If the B who has given his acceptance, if he wishes to revoke his acceptance, okay, the acceptance must reach A. If it doesn't reach A, there won't be any revocation of acceptance and there will be a valid contract. Okay. If you revoke your proposal made to me by a telegram, the revocation will be complete as far as you are concerned when you have dispatched the telegram. Okay, this is when revocation of offer. But as far as I am concerned, it will be complete only when I receive the telegram. As regards revocation of acceptance, if we go by the above example, I can revoke my acceptance, your offer by telegram. This revocation of acceptance by me will be complete when I dispatch the telegram, and against you, it will be complete when it reaches you. Okay. But the important question for consideration is when a proposal can be revoked and when can an acceptance be revoked. Okay. When a proposal can be revoked and when can an acceptance be revoked. These questions are more important than the question when the revocation is complete. Ordinarily, the offerer can revoke his offer before it is accepted. Okay, so Okay, it reaches. If he wants to revoke his offer, a revocation must be before it has been accepted. Okay, once it is accepted, you cannot revoke it. It's a valid contract now. Okay. The bidder at an auction sale may withdraw his bid before it is accepted by auctioneer by fall of hammer. Okay, when the auction takes place, there are three times the hammer will fall. 1000 rupees 1, 1000 rupees 2, 1000 rupees 3. And at the 1000 rupees 3, the contract is settled. But before he says 1000 rupees 3, the one who has made the bid of 1000 rupees say, no, no, I take back my offer. The offer is revoked, there is no contract. But once the hammer says 1000 rupees 3, the offer is complete and it has been accepted and the contract comes into picture. X offered to sell 50 bales of cotton at a certain price and promised to keep it open for acceptance by Y till 6 p.m. of that day. Okay. Before that time, X sold to Z, Y accepted before 6 p.m. But after the revocation by Z, X, in this case, it was held that the offer was already revoked. Okay. So, offer can be revoked any time before the acceptance. Before the acceptance. A proposal can be revoked. A proposal can be revoked any time before the communication of its acceptance is complete as against the proposer. An acceptance may be revoked any time before the communication of acceptance is complete as against the acceptor. A proposes by letter sent by post to sell his house to B. B accepts a proposal by letter sent by post. A may revoke his proposal any time before or at the moment when B posts his letter of acceptance but not afterwards. Okay. A can revoke before B accepts it and when B will accept it when B will post his letter. So anytime before B posts his letter, he can revoke his offer by posting his own letter of revocation, but not afterwards. Whereas B may revoke his acceptance any time before or at the time when the letter communicating it reaches A but not afterwards. And if the B wants to revoke his communication of acceptance, he can do so by posting a revocation before the letter has reached A. Okay, before the letter of acceptance has reached A but not afterwards. Okay. So the law is same in India as well as in England. Why? Because we follow the English law. We have been a part of English country earlier. In English law, the moment a person expresses his acceptance of an offer, that moment the contract is concluded, and such an acceptance becomes irrevocable whether it is made orally or through the post. In India, the position is different at as it regards contract through post. Okay, in English law, what they say that moment you put revocation, okay, or you put your you put your acceptance in communication. Okay, your acceptance contract is concluded and you cannot take back it. Okay, you cannot revoke it. But in India, we allow people to revoke their acceptance before the acceptance has reached to the A. Okay, as acceptance in English law cannot be
It's 2
revoked.
o'clock.
Acceptance cannot be revoked in English law, but in India, we can revoke it but before it reaches A. So that once the letter of acceptance is properly posted, the contract is concluded. In Indian law, the acceptor or can revoke his acceptance by any time before the letter of acceptance reaches to the offerer. If the revocation telegram arrives before or at the same time with the letter of acceptance, the revocation is absolute. Okay. If the revocation reaches before the communication of acceptance or just at the same time, the revocation is absolute. Contract over telephone. A contract can be made over telephone. The rules regarding offer and acceptance as well as their communication by telephone telex are the same as for the contract made by mutual meeting. Okay. When you are entering into contract with telephone on telephone, it is assumed that you are sitting together in a room. So whatever the rules of contract are applicable on contract entered by meeting personally, same is applicable on the telephone as well. We assume that people are sitting with each other. The contract is formed as soon as the offer is accepted, but the offeree must make sure that his acceptance is received by the offerer. Otherwise, there will be no contract as communication of acceptance is not complete. If telephone unexpectedly goes dead during conversation, the acceptor must confirm again that the words of acceptance were duly heard by the offerer. Okay, if the If the phone somehow goes dead, then he should again call back and again tell that I accept it. Otherwise, there won't be any acceptance. Revocation of proposal otherwise than communication. When your proposal or your acceptance can be revoked otherwise than communication, other without even telling, the revocation can be complete. How it can be complete even without telling is by notice of revocation or by lapse of time. Okay, it is time. The time for acceptance can lapse if the acceptance is not given within specified time. Suppose I tell that you have to reply by 6 p.m. If the other party does not reply by 6 p.m., that means the offer has lapsed. Automatically, the offer has lapsed. If he tells me after 6 p.m. that I accept your contract, then there is no valid contract. Okay, by lapse of time. It is for the reason that proposals should not be made to wait indefinitely. Okay. In Ramsgate Victoria Hotel versus Montfort. Okay, in this case, that a person who applied for the shares in June was not bound by an allotment made in November. This decision was followed in India Cooperative Navigation and Trading and so and so. What happened? What happened here? That Ramsgate Victoria Hotel, this person Montfort tell to this company that I want to purchase your shares in June. In June, the share price was less, very less. Okay, but November the share price had gone up. So now Victoria said, we'll sell you the shares now in the November. Okay, he said, no, I will not purchase the shares on high price now. And they took him to the court. Court said, no, when he said, I want to buy it in June, you should have sold shares in June only. On November, when there is a stark difference in the price, now you cannot sell it. Or by non-fulfillment of a condition precedent, there may be condition for acceptance. If you do not fulfill, your offer or your acceptance is revoked automatically. Where the acceptor fails to fulfill a condition precedent to acceptance, the proposal gets revoked. The principle laid down in section 6 of the act. The offerer, for instance, may impose certain conditions such as executing a certain document or depositing a certain amount as earnest money. Sometimes in the sale of the property, it happens that you have to deposit 10% of the money in advance. If you do not deposit the 10% of money in advance, your contract is revoked. Okay. Failure to satisfy any condition will result in lapse of the proposal. As stated earlier, condition precedent to acceptance prevents an obligation from coming into existence until the condition is satisfied. Suppose where A proposes to sell his house to B for 5 lakh provided B leases his land to A. If B refuses to lease the land, the offer of A is revoked automatically. Okay. If you fail to comply with the condition, which is the bedrock of the contract, then the revocation is automatically complete by death or insanity. Okay, if A makes an offer and before the offer is accepted, A dies or he becomes lunatic, okay, then he will definitely the offer will lapse, okay, or by counter offer. A makes an offer to B, B makes a counter offer. The offer of A will now lapse, okay, by non acceptance of offer according to the prescribed mode. Why? We discussed that you should accept it only by post, but he whatsapped it or he emailed it, then also it lapsed. By subsequent illegality, I will sell you onions, okay, but now the government says you cannot export onions. Due to this illegality, the contract is now revoked.